He worked with Thomas Cromwell but survived his fall. He helped dissolve monasteries and chantries but was pardoned by Queen Mary I. Meet Sir John Kingsmill, a Tudor courtier and lawyer who somehow managed to navigate the political whirlwinds of Henry VIII, Edward VI and Mary I. On this day in Tudor history, the 11th of August 1556, Kingsmill died after a long and fascinating career. He wasn't a household name, but he was right there, quietly pulling the levers of Tudor policy and benefiting from the spoils. I'm historian and author Claire Ridgway, and today I'm exploring the life of this legal mind, royal sheriff, and skilled political survivor. Sir John Kingsmill was from a gentry family who, in the 15th century, had served as bailiffs of Basingstoke and had settled at Barkham in Berkshire. He was born in around 1497 and was the son of lawyer John Kingsmill, who'd served King Henry VII as King's Sergeant, Justice of the Common Pleas and Chief Justice for Lancaster. Kingsmill's grandfather, Richard Kingsmill, had played host to Catherine of Aragon in 1501 as she travelled from the south coast to London to marry Arthur Tudor, Prince of Wales. Like his father, Kingsmill pursued a legal career, entering Lincoln's Inn in 1516. In 1521, he was called to the bar. In that same year, he married Constance, daughter of John Goring of Burton in Sussex. Later, William Goring, Kingsmill's brother-in-law, would introduce Kingsmill to Thomas Cromwell, the king's right-hand man. In 1530, Kingsmill was knighted by King Henry VIII and was also made steward of Mottisfont Priory in Hampshire. From 1537 to his death, Kingsmill served as a Justice of the Peace, and then in the late 1530s and again in 1543 to 44, he served as a Sheriff for Hampshire. Kingsmill worked with Thomas Wriothesley in the 1530s, a man fast becoming a key figure in Henry VIII's government, and during the dissolution of the monasteries, Kingsmill benefited by being granted the former abbey properties of the manors of Sandford, Woodcote and Sidmonton. In 1539, Kingsmill as sheriff was able to help Thomas Cromwell by pushing for his allies to be elected for Parliament. Despite his close relationship with Cromwell, he didn't suffer at the latter's fall in 1540. In 1548, Kingsmill served Edward VI as a commissioner for the dissolution of chantries. Now, you might be wondering, what exactly were chantries and why were they being dissolved? Well, chantries were places, often small chapels or altars, where priests were paid to say masses for the souls of the dead. The idea was that these prayers could help a soul through purgatory and into heaven more swiftly. But by the time of Edward VI's reign, this practice was being challenged as superstitious. The Protestant reformers rejected the whole idea of purgatory, and with it the idea that prayers for the dead were necessary or even effective. So in 1548, just a decade or so after the dissolution of the monasteries, the government went after chantries too. Their lands, endowments and buildings were confiscated by the Crown, not just to strip away Catholic practices, but to raise much needed funds for the Treasury. It was a major moment in the English Reformation and one that Sir John Kingsmill played a direct role in as a commissioner for the dissolution. The reign of the Protestant King Edward VI ended with the king's death in July 1553, and his Catholic half-sister Mary I, after she'd knocked Lady Jane Grey off the throne, set about turning the clock back and returning England to the Catholic fold. But what did this mean for the Protestant Kingsmill, who'd helped enforce the king's Protestant legislation? Well, fortunately for him, Queen Mary pardoned him for the, and I quote, offences that he'd committed. Presumably his roles in the dissolution of the monasteries and chantries. Phew! Kingsmill died a natural death on this day in 1556. He and his wife had had 17 children together, and their eldest son William was his heir. William served as a Justice of the Peace and Sheriff of Hampshire and was knighted in 1569. All of Kingsmill's children favoured the Protestant faith. Sir John Kingsmill may not have stood centre stage in Tudor dramas, but he was always in the wings, connected to Cromwell, Wriothesley, the dissolutions and Parliament. He served 3 very different monarchs, raised 17 children, acquired former abbey lands and died with his head and estate intact. No small achievement in the reigns of the Tudors. And though he was a Protestant who dismantled parts of Catholic England, Mary I pardoned him. And his children would go on to embrace the Reformation in Elizabeth I's reign. A quiet figure perhaps, but one who did leave a lasting mark. Oh, and a couple of interesting bits of trivia. 1. Sir John Kingsmill's great-grandson, Sir William Kingsmill IV, killed his former guardian, his uncle Sir William Hazelwood, in a quarrel, claiming that his uncle had provoked him and drawn his sword on him. Kingsmill was pardoned of manslaughter. And 2 members of the Kingsmill family were recorded as being insane. Sir John's son Thomas was said to have suffered from bouts of insanity, and Sir William Kingsmill V, Sir John's great-great-grandson, suffered from insanity for the final 30 years of his life. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed learning about Sir John Kingsmill today, do give this video a like, subscribe for more Tudor tales, and let me know in the comments which lesser-known Tudor figure do you think deserves more attention. Oh, and if you'd like even more Tudor content, and who wouldn't, including exclusive videos and a beautifully curated digital magazine, click the join button here or on my channel homepage and become part of my Tudor inner circle. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.